you might think the Earth isn't a ball.
I do.
Nice. I'm Dave. How are you?
I'm Lori. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Lori. Hey, brother. How are you? I'm Dave.
Hey, Rich.
Yeah, man.
What's going on, bro?
Good. How you doing? I thought you were. I just thought you were looking at it. I didn't realize. No, that's cool. You guys are here. Nice, nice. I'm sorry to interrupt.
We're having a love fest.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's cool.
I was down with Dave 2 days ago.
Oh, okay.
Neck of the woods.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where are you from?
New Jersey, like the Princeton area, but it's New Egypt.
He went to
Okay.
Point Pleasant.
Okay.
On the boardwalk there, that's where he goes.
Excuse me, guys. Folks, brain teaser while you wait in line.
Come on, guys.
Little brain teaser for you. Tell me if you can answer this. They tell us the Earth spins at 1,000 miles an hour at the equator. That's how fast we're spinning, approximately. Oops, sorry. They tell us that we're spinning approximately 1,000 miles an hour at the equator. Now, commercial airplanes fly at 550 miles on average. If you were to fly in the same direction and spin at 550 miles an hour, what would happen? Would you gain ground or will you lose ground?
It all depends on how much hallucinogenics you need while you're on the plane.
Where you see that the Earth is round?
Well, I don't think there's quite a few pilots who will disagree with you. I can give you guys the answer since you were so kind to actually pay attention to it. And what they do is they tell us that those clouds above our heads are moving at 1,000 miles an hour, that they are magically attached to the Earth, and they spin with us. So we've come to the conclusion, a lot of people have investigated this stuff, and no longer believe. I'm not bothering you, right? I don't mean to be stalking you. Yeah. But a lot of people no longer believe that they live on a spinning planet.
I like to hear other people's opinions.
I'm sorry?
I like to hear other people's opinions.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. Look into flat Earth, man. There's a lot of evidence out there to maybe persuade you. I have a good brain teaser. The Earth, they say, spins at 1,000 miles an hour, okay, at the equator. If you fly in a commercial airplane at 550 miles an hour in the same direction of a 1,000 mile an hour spin, are you making ground or are you losing ground?
Trick question, neither. I don't know.
Well, I can tell you what they tell us.
What do they tell me?
They tell us that the atmosphere is connected to the Earth, so that those clouds above our heads right now, they're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour with the Earth's spin. So that way the entire atmosphere is moving, so the plane supposedly is making ground. Question is now is, no one has proven that, so you have to believe that, right? On the display down there, they have a display of flat Earth, and you can see a photo of the Chicago skyline from clear across Lake Michigan, 50 miles, okay? Over a distance of 50 miles, we should have 1,700 feet of expected Earth curvature, okay? That skyline, you shouldn't be able to see the tippy top of the Sears building, yet not only can you see the Sears Tower in almost all its glory, but you can see little 300, 400, 500 foot buildings. They should be hidden, guys, by 1,700 feet of curvature.
Let me ask you a question. What does it matter if we find out the Earth is flat? What's the ramification?
You like being lied to? Yeah?
Well, I mean, like, what does it change?
What does it change, man?
I'm not knocking.
No, I know. But for me, it's like amazing. Like, I get that so many times. People who are like, what does it matter? And for me, it's like, bro, like, I don't mean you personally, but like, how can you not be like,
You just want to be
how is you made, and if it's true, and you were lied on that scale, then don't you think there's a few other freaking lies that you've been lied about?
Well, there's a lot of other.
There is.
That's very.
Yeah. Here, check this out. I have a little piece of paper. Go. That's my YouTube channel, but there's also Eric DeBay's. You can watch up a little on this information. Oh, thanks. And you can make up your own mind. I could be wrong on this, obviously, right? But it's freaking, dude. That's like the tip of the iceberg. It's insane where we live.
That's what this is. That's the tip of the iceberg, maybe. There's so many other lies.
Oh, there are, man. Yeah, you're awake. Good for you.
Thank you.
All right, man. Peace. Getting hot out here, huh?
Finally get a chance to meet you. That's what's up.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out a way where I could do this and still, you know, with the camera and everything, because it's kind of hard.
Oh yeah, I gotta
So
get.
she's
I gotta
gonna
do a
be my
better
camera
job.
person.
Nice.
Yeah, well, there's a way we can put on a hat.
Oh yeah, I could get the GoPro setup going.
Yeah.
Or put what? You know what happened is I do put it up on. I have a few tripods with me, but I didn't bring my mount for it today, so I just, who knows? I like walking around anyway a little bit too. I'm gonna run out, I think, of battery at some point soon. But cool, man. I'm getting thirsty. I keep getting thirsty.
Dude, where you live at? You live in Jersey?
Out in New Egypt, New Jersey, out in the hillbilly. I'm gonna take a hillbilly out there.
Okay, that's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Keep doing what you're doing, man. Don't be afraid to point to if somebody wants a model. Say, hey, look, this may not be the exact model, but this is the same model United Nations.
Yep. Oh right, I should. Yeah, I will definitely try.
I know you're
not even talking to anybody out here today, man. No one's even talking to me. It's depressing. Like I mean, it's hard. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
New Yorkers are skeptical.
Yeah.
By nature.
Yeah. It's brutal.
It's hard, this is...
Marilyn's doing good, I think. She's getting people over to that.
Yes.
I'm really seeing if she really...
She's got a nice display set up.
It's going good. I brought a whole bunch of stuff with me, and I ended up putting it on the ground. I was not prepared properly for this. Yeah.
Ready to go.
Yeah. I'll have to take more time setting up next time.
It's all good. The show, I love the show, but let's get up. We'll get up together, and I love it, the show.
Yeah.
Because you reached out to me, and he was like, yo, let's get up.
Oh, that was you?
Yeah, that was me on the show.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah,
I'm...
Yeah.
And then he was like, yo, we got to meet. I was like, oh, all right, cool.
Yeah, it's nice that
you came on my video. I saw your video. I was like, all right, cool. You out there? Yeah. You out there. That's the main thing. You out there asking questions.
Oh, I think I do know where your video.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I was at Ocean City.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was you. Okay. Yeah, 100%. I remember that.
A whole bunch of people at one time. I don't care. I was like, yo.
Oh, I love having a bunch of people.
Absolutely.
Except for the only part I don't like is when you have them coming in the middle of your talking, and like they have no idea what you're talking about, and it's like, and then, or the worst is the trolls.
I like them too. You know what? I kind of make them seem irrelevant in a nice, subtle way. Yeah. So it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Yeah.
It's stuff.
I get triggered.
Yeah. Sometimes, but you know what? I just let it, I turn it and flip it around now.
Nice.
Because when they tell me something stupid, which I probably already know what they're going to say before they say it, I got something.
How long have you been doing it?
Year and a half.
Oh yeah, so you got
good
good at
every
it,
day.
right?
I don't do this. I woke up the cab driver on the way here.
Nice.
I wake up the lady at Wawa.
Me too. I do the same thing. I try at least. I don't know if I'm waking them up, but
everybody who I talk to, I let them know.
Yeah, we have to, man.
You have to.
We have to.
People in a deep slumber.
Yeah, they are.
And they're not going to show this shit on.
How long you been awake for?
About a year and a half.
About a year and a half. Oh, same about me.
Yeah, about
February. I was February of 17.
Yeah, about a year and a half. I thought it was the most absurd shit I've ever heard in my life.
Anybody here looking into Flat Earth yet?
Yeah, I've been a Flat Earther for 3 years now.
Have you really? Yeah. Wow. Did you know we were? Oh, you see? You got the shirt on and everything. I'm sorry?
You got Nathan Roberts.
Yeah, good for you. Are you guys just bumping into us, or you planned on coming here?
I was actually planning to come here, so that's why I came here.
Cool, I'm Dave, man.
Hi, nice to meet you guys.
Hi, nice to meet you.
How many are you guys here? 5?
Probably, maybe even a few more. There's probably about, I think, 5 or 6 of us, right?
Started, right? What's her name? She's here too? Yeah. She's walking around somewhere?
Yeah, Marilyn's here somewhere. 3 years, huh? You're like a veteran. I think that's a long time, man.
I'm like a little over 3, but around 3 is that's the number.
Oh yeah, like where it really started gaining traction.
Yeah, anything before that, it's like
they were on their own. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. nuts.
Like, you even have this, Marble, what's his name?
D Marble.
Yeah, D Marble.
Yeah.
When he did the laser.
Yeah, I saw that night. Yeah, I was watching it. Somebody told me, they were like, put it on. He's doing a laser test, and I caught just the very end of it with, where you saw the light. I was like, I like those, man, because you know why? They give me more reassurance, because I get nervous sometimes,
Yeah.
The whole the sun thing bothers me still. I don't think I have how the sun sets really in my head.
The sun that goes around in circle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just goes around in circle.
Yeah. But like when you go up in the air, like to me, it's like you'd be able to see it again. Like we flew up high in the sky and it's going around in circles like that.
No, I think somebody video it from JFK airport to Russia.
Yeah.
They follow it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
YouTube put JFK plane to Russia, following the sun. Yeah, so it goes around.
Well, but I know, but the thing is that if that could be done on a ball, then it does, right? You know what I mean? If that makes sense, because you could follow the sun around on a ball, so that doesn't exclude being a ball.
Or how about this?
But I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not. But you know what I'm saying? Like for me, I need like something that says there's no way that would happen, or like if it could happen on a ball, then I'm not. But I guess the heading would be. I don't know, man. It's so, and I'm not that good at all this geography stuff. And
like one time, because I was on duty in the morning, overnight, so I look at all the live cams, right?
Yep.
So I'm from Philippines, so I look at live cam in the Philippines and New York. So the sun is pretty much, I call it sun come, because it's sun coming,
Yep.
Sun goes, sun come.
Yeah.
So when the sun coming in New York, I was in the airport, I look at the live cam in Philippines, and in the globe, you're supposed to kind of see the sun, because Philippines is on the other side of the globe.
Okay.
Supposed to be. But the light's still shining on Philippines, live cam, and also in New York.
Oh, I can see that myself.
Yeah,
right?
That means it's not possible if we're living in the globe.
Okay, I have to do more studying for that, because that would be
just do live cam.
And by the way, I'm like 99.9% because of water. You know what I mean? Water, Chicago, skyline, all that stuff has got me. But the sun was like the one thing that I can't get yet. But
yeah, do the live cam. Live cams all over the world.
All right, I'm gonna start doing that. Yeah. I will. That'll help.
You'll see.
See that? That's why I'm out here. I'll learn some stuff too.
So you started going with them, or how long have you been with them?
No, I just came out today because they, Marilyn. I went out with Marilyn on Point Pleasant. We had a good time, and then she said she's going a few places this summer, and I've been going out by myself. But it's good to have other people. But here is really, it's been slow, man. It's like at the shore, I get a lot of people hanging out and talking.
Well, here is more people like just going here to just look at the stuff.
Yeah.
You don't really want to stop by for so long.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Central Park might have been a better place where people are chilling out.
Or in our area, Far Rockaway Beach.
Yeah.
Because we have a new boardwalk now.
Oh, you do?
So everybody goes there and relax.
Oh, it must get really busy there too.
And we have, of course, that's a good, perfect example because you can see the horizon.
That's what I love having that. Exactly. Yeah.
So Far Rockaway would be a better place.
Okay. Oh, but no way. I do not like the traffic out here, man.
Yeah.
You're from this area probably, right?
Yeah, I'm from Far Rockaway.
Oh, you are? Okay.
So all you need to do is take the 1A train, and that's it. Almost to the last stop.
Yeah. I'm coming from Jersey, though.
Oh, Jersey.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
there's a lot of nice coastal area there too.
But I could come out there one time, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I just am not a big fan of the traffic. It's a nightmare.
You guys going to that Fallout thing? Where's that Fallout? Skyfall? Something like that? The Skyfall conference?
What is it called?
It's called a Skyfall conference.
No, I don't know.
You know Mark Sargent?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's the one hosting it. Skyfall.
I'll have to check that out. I know that they just had a conference.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's amazing, man.
Yeah, it's cool. It's growing, man.
I'm glad that he's here in New York.
All right, I'm gonna get back out there too.
And my kids also know about it, and I just tell them that if the teacher teaches something else, just go to their ears and go to the other side.
I feel bad. Like it's too bad you even have to have your kids go to school at this point. I mean, seriously, I just can't even. I don't think I could even handle having my kids go to a public school.
That's why it's good to teach them in the home.
Yeah. Don't worry about your grades, kids. Don't worry about your grades. Just worry about the truth. Is that bad? Am I bad to say that? I'm sorry.
No. You can do the same thing. You can fool them, but they cannot fool you.
Yeah.
So give them what they want. Give them good grades.
Oh, and you're fooling back. I hear you. Yeah. But so much wasted time when you could be doing stuff that's more important.
Right.
You know? All right, I'm going to get out there. Give me a second. It was nice talking with you. I just want to try to wake some people up while I'm here. We're spinning 1,000 miles an hour right now. You feel it, right?
About it on the news, and I researched it.
You did?
It's crazy.
This
theory, it's insane. It's not possible.
You came to the evidence you saw. What was the convincing thing that made you say?
I'm just convinced by science. I mean, I know that we've been to the moon and we've formed the Earth.
Yeah.
There's no way the Earth is flat. It's impossible.
I have. You research NASA, right?
Yeah.
Have you seen the videos where? There's bubbles in space?
Bubbles? No.
Yeah. There's videos of literally little bubbles that look like a bubble in a pool going up. There's video of 3 astronauts on the ISS, right? And the astronauts start to disappear in the video, like they glitch out, right? But the background remains fine. The background remains fine, just like it's on Star Trek.
Yeah.
There's another video where literally you can see a harness.
I gotta go.
Okay, yeah. Oh, wait, here, check this out. Did you watch Eric Dubray's History of the Flat Earth?
No, but I gotta go. Thank you.
Take that with you. Check that out. There's a lot of misinformation, man. I appreciate talking with you, though. Thank you. I don't like it here. I want to go back to my beach. Because it's a little hot on the beach too, but at least people talk to you, man. No one even freaking talks to you here.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. But 2 people talk to me in 3 hours.
Me too.
I don't like getting abused, you know? It's good meeting other people though.
Yeah.
Are you getting tired?
I'm tired.
Are you getting tired? Yeah.
Well, I came from work. I work 12 to 8 in the morning, and I come straight here.
How did you do that even? You're like a superhero.
I love, yeah.
I can't imagine. You folks ever look into flat Earth?
Well, if you believe that the Earth is flat, you're more bonkers than I realize.
Let me ask you a question. How would you prove that you live on a ball Earth yourself? How do you know you live on a ball Earth?
Because the horizon curve.
Actually, you really can't see the curve of the horizon. Even commercial airline pilots will say that you can't see the curvature from 30,000 feet.
You would drop off a flat Earth.
I hear you though. Actually listening.
Yeah.
Rare thing. She worked all night until 8 o'clock in the morning, took overnight shift, and then came out here.
She's awesome.
Yeah, 12 to 8. That's crazy. I'm so ready for all my stuff to get stolen and everything. I don't know how much longer I'm going to last here, man. This is going nowhere.
Well, you're not getting much. Switch banners.
Yeah.
Do something different.
All right, yeah, that's a good idea. I'll switch my banner, too. 1984, where they sneak off and the cameras that you worry about in the
agent.
Yeah.
At the end of the thing.
Oh,
Crazy.
oh, it is crazy, man. This one has a little more clear, maybe, right?
Yeah. All you need is that research.
Yeah.
And a great word. No, I don't like the word believe.
Yeah.
Suppose, suggest.
Right at this moment at the equator. We're spinning 1,000 miles an hour, they say. Sure, yeah. Do you know how fast they say we're spinning right this moment?
I don't know, but I can tell you the world is round, the earth is round.
Yeah, how?
Very simple. The Bible says the earth is a sphere. The earth is round because you have 4 time zones. You have the eastern, the mountain.
4 corners? Are you going to tell me the corners of the earth are 4 times?
When it talks about the 4 corners, that talks about the regions of the earth. The north, the south.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, you can.
I'm sorry to interrupt too, I apologize.
Talk to me.
Do you know who William Tyndale is?
William who?
Tyndale.
I've heard the name, but I don't.
He is the first person to translate the Bible from Hebrew to English. English. He was the first person to do it.
Okay.
All right. And in his translation in Samuel 11-11, it specifically refers to a flat earth, using exactly those words.
That's wrong.
It's wrong.
The Bible says that the world is a sphere. The earth is a sphere.
Circle. Oh, you mean where you're referring where it's the circle
is a sphere.
Do you know it all? All right. Let me give you that one, right? Because I'm not going to, but let me give it to you.
We can talk.
What about how can you rectify? Yeah, rectify.
Rectify. Justify. Right.
Justify. Where it says immovable, and where it uses the terminology where multiple times where stationary and immovable. I have the verses over here if you want to see them.
I know. I have the scripture in my heart.
Oh, you do? Okay. I'm new. I'm new, by the way.
Okay. Have you accepted Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior?
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. So you're a Christian.
Yes.
So if you've accepted Christ, you know that when you die, you're going to be in heaven.
Yes.
Good. That's very good.
But so if you look at there's the first one is Chronicles that I have the top left there, where it says all before him trembled before him all the earth. Yes, the world is established; it shall never be moved.
Okay, you have to understand. You have heaven and you have earth.
I'm sorry.
You have heaven and you have earth.
Yep.
The Bible says that the world, God is going to create, He's going to destroy the one that we have now. We're going to have a new heaven and a new earth. God's children, if you're a Christian, God's children are going to be raised up with Him.
Okay.
But you have to understand science as well. Science, the world is...
Wait. All I'm saying, though, is that it says strictly, isn't it referring to the earth or not? Is it? And if it's saying that it shall never be moved, so the problem that you're doing when it shall never be moved.
No, you have to understand science. You have to understand we're a sphere.
But that doesn't have to do with what it's referring to.
No, that's wrong. The earth is a sphere.
Right.
The earth is a sphere. The earth is round. It's a sphere. It's a globe. So that's why we have 7 continents.
No, but you're not. Okay. All right. I got you. Going somewhere. Okay. Yep.
We have 7 continents. So each continent is different. This is why the earth is a sphere. Each continent is different. So in Finland, the time zone is different than it is in America.
Okay, I'm with you there.
Okay. The earth is round, it is spinning, it's not flat, and the reason why it's not is because there's gravity. That's what keeps science.
No, but who can gravity?
It's very simple. It's common sense. You are standing here. The earth is spinning, but gravity keeps you grounded.
Right.
Okay. It's just like electricity.
But can you prove this?
It's common sense.
No, but I'm saying.
Okay, use common sense.
Right.
Use common sense.
Okay.
When you plug in something to a wall, it has to be grounded. You have electricity.
Yeah.
So it flows alternating current.
Okay.
It flows one direction, goes another. It has to be grounded. You as a human being, when the earth is spinning, you're not spinning. Why? Gravity. Sir Isaac Newton proved this. You're grounded. Gravity is keeping you grounded. That's why you're not. Right. When the earth is spinning, you're not.
The only problem is that, literally, when Neil deGrasse Tyson says, what does he say?
Understand.
But what does he say, right? Do you know what he says?
Well, I'm sure I probably have read it, but
you know what he says? You know who he is? Do you know who he is?
I want to explain to you as a Christian that you understand that God created the heavens and the earth.
Yeah, man, I'm with you.
Okay.
100%.
So, God of the Bible, God of Christianity, who sent His Son to die on the cross, also has the earth in His hands.
Right.
The Bible says He has the world in His hands.
Well, the only thing is, though, is that
the world is round because, again,
have you heard of this Werner von Braun? You've heard of him? And that he's a former Nazi. He was the head of this, and you heard obviously about his tombstone on Psalms 19-1, right?
Listen to what you're saying. He's a former Nazi.
I'm sorry.
He's a former Nazi.
Right.
So that doesn't mean he's a Christian.
Okay. Well, he might have repented and become one. I don't know.
He may have been that. I don't know either.
We don't know that.
But what I want you to understand as a Christian, if you're a believer of Christ.
In fact, he sounds like he is a Christian because he put Psalms 19-1 on his...
No? The Bible, David wrote the book of Psalms. Psalms means song.
Oh, psalm, okay.
Song. The songs of David. There's 150 of them. What I want you as a Christian, my brother, to understand is science and God, nature nature. I want you to understand nature, and I want you to understand Christianity. They go hand in hand.
Right.
This is why
No, my only thing is that my problem is that I hear what you're saying.
Right.
But for me, the evidence that outside of the Bible has taken you to a place where it seems overwhelming that we were deceived from a young age.
Sin deceived the whole earth. Sin.
Right.
When Adam and Eve disobeyed God, that's where sin came in. Remember, the world was perfect. There was no sin.
Okay.
A lion could sleep with a tiger. A dog could sleep with a cat. There was no hatred. There was no sin.
Okay.
So when Adam and Eve disobeyed God in the garden, that's where sin came from. So you have to understand, God is perfect. And the Bible was inspired by a holy God. It was written by men, yes, but inspired by a holy God. So it's not that, but again, I want you to understand science as well.
Yeah. I don't trust science. I don't.
Use your reasoning. God gives us God gives us thinking. He gives us reason. So again, understand science. The world is round. God created the world in 7 days.
What is your best proof? What is your best proof that the earth is round?
Just look at nature. I want you to look at nature, sir. Look at nature, and I'm going to leave you alone.
Yep.
I want you to look at nature.
Okay.
And again, I want you to use your reasoning, your human reasoning. So look at nature. In China, it's a different time. Right now it's about 1 o'clock in North America. In China, it's not 1 o'clock. Why? Because again, the world's axis, the axis has not rotated to China. So it's probably going to be nighttime somewhere. We're over here, it's daytime. Now, why is that happening? The Earth has to spin. It's here.
I'm familiar with the heliocentric model for sure. I mean, I wouldn't have come to my belief in the flat Earth if I didn't have some familiarity with
This is why the world is round.
Right.
So when the Bible talks about the 4 corners of the Earth, it's not talking about a flat Earth.
Right.
It's talking about the regions of it. That's why we have. If you look at a map.
Yeah.
If you look at a map.
Yeah.
You have the north. You have the south.
But how do you have a north, south, east, and west when you're in space?
No, not in space. I'm just talking about
relative to what is north, south, east, and west.
Okay, in New York, we're in the north, right?
But what do you mean in New York? But there was no.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Listen, New York City, we're in the north.
In north, though, in space.
No, sir. Listen to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Not in space. I'm not talking about space. Space, you have space.
Right.
And you have the solar system. You have 9 planets. But here on the Earth, we have 4 corners. We're not talking about space like you have Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. Okay.
Now you're telling me we have 4 corners on a round ball.
On the Earth. Right. Not a flat Earth. We are round because
that's what I said.
Not a flat. We don't have a flat.
No, I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying if you were to take a ball and you tell me put it on 4 corners, something on 4 corners.
A ball doesn't have corners, right?
Right.
A ball doesn't have corners.
Yeah,
but the Earth is not flat. The Earth is round because again, I want you to use your reasoning.
Yeah.
Not this. I want you to reason.
Well, I am.
Okay.
I am using.
Okay. Listen to me.
Yeah.
We're in New York City, right?
Yeah.
You do agree with that? Yeah. So we're in the north. In Dallas, Texas, that's the south. So right now in New York City, it's 1 o'clock. In Dallas, Texas, it's 12 noon. Why? The Earth has not revolved yet.
Well, that's an artificial function.
It's not artificial. It's science.
No.
It's science.
The time that we make up. No. What I'm saying though is
this is why we have a round Earth, because again, the sun has not rotated. So when it's 2 o'clock here in New York, it will be 1 o'clock in Dallas.
I don't know, man. I think we've been deceived.
You have not been deceived. It's common sense.
There's so many things there that you have to twist. You have to twist these words.
Not twisting it. It's common sense.
All right. So if Matthew goes again, the devil took him very high on a mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their glory. So on a ball, right? Mm-hmm. He's standing on a mountain and he's looking at all the kingdoms. How do you do that? How do you do that on a ball?
It's a kingdom. It's not talking about a ball. It's talking about a kingdom. It's talking about.
No, you're right. He's saying looking at. He took him and showed him all the kingdoms. So in order to be shown, you have to see them, right?
Yeah. A kingdom is talking about like a palace, like the queen has a palace, and Queen Elizabeth lives in a kingdom, like the kingdom of heaven. That is a place. That's not referring to a, well, that is talking about a place. It's like when you...
All of the places,
right,
saying.
Right.
How do you see all the places on a
Because you have to understand God is omnipotent and he's omnipresent. God knows everything. You do agree with that, right?
Yeah.
He's omnipotent. He knows everything.
Yeah.
He's omnipresent, which means he's everywhere. So he can see things at one time.
Yeah.
But it's not talking about a flat earth.
How do you reconcile then the let me just look here. I just want to understand, because I can see what you're saying. I have actually thought of that recent argument myself. That why limit what God can and cannot do?
Right.
But how about this one? And the sun stood still, and the moon stayed, right, until the people avenged themselves. So the sun stood still in the midst of heaven and hasted not to go down about a whole day, right?
Right.
He doesn't say anything about the earth staying still there.
You have to understand. In the book of Joshua, when it talks about the sun stirring still, that refers to one of the miracles of God. God gave you a miracle. Okay, let me finish. It's not talking about a flat earth. Right. It's talking about the sun. So you do understand that God has all power. You understand that, right? Yeah. God is able to hold the sun still. He can do what he wants to do because he is almighty.
Right. Sure, I'm with you.
This is not
fine.
Okay.
But now the problem is, he holds the sun. Why wouldn't he say, and at the same time he held the earth still? Because if he doesn't, the earth is going to fly by at 500,000 miles an hour.
No.
Sure.
That's because you're not understanding God is all powerful.
Right.
He has all power in his hand.
I understand that. But what you're saying is that, right. But what you're saying now, you're interpreting something and you're putting it. I think so.
If you have I'm going to leave you alone.
Yep.
If you have a Bible,
I do.
I hope you do. Read the book of Joshua where it talks about God holding the sun still for Joshua. That's one of the miracles of God.
Okay, I'll double check it.
And then I want you to, at some point, I have to pray for you because obviously we won't get anywhere here.
Yeah.
I want to pray for you that God shows you that he is the God of the Bible. He is also the God of nature. And I pray that you understand, because you have to understand, if you understand nature and how things work, you'll understand the world is round, not flat.
Okay.
And the four corners again is north, south, east, and west. And comment, all you have to do is look at a map.
I don't know, man. When I go to the beach, all I see is flat water.
You see that, but the world is round. But
that's like my own physical eyes are seeing, right?
Use common sense.
Hey, listen, thank you for spending some time with me. And
I love biblical truth.
Cool, man. All right, peace. Thank you. 1,000 miles an hour right this moment at the equator. If you were to travel 500 miles an hour in an airplane in the same direction of the Earth's spin, would you be gaining ground or losing ground? You know what they do? I'll give you the answer because you were paying attention. They say that our atmosphere is connected to the Earth's spin, so that those clouds above your head, they're traveling 1,000 miles an hour with the Earth. You have to believe that, right? Look into flat. Here, I'll give you information, man. You're awake. It is crazy because you have to believe this stuff. I'm not telling you that the Earth is flat 100%, but look into it. It might jar you a little bit into what your beliefs are. Peace, man. Thank you. Thanks for taking that, man. Folks, we're spinning 1,000 miles an hour right this moment is what they say at the equator. Now, if you were to fly in the same direction of that 1,000 mile an hour spin at 500 miles an hour, are you gaining ground or losing ground? Right? What happens if you're flying at 500 miles an hour while the spin is 1,000 miles an hour and you travel in the same direction of that spin? Are you making ground or are you losing ground? You get it? What? So tell me. How do you do that? Right. I can tell you why they say that happens. I will, because you're listening. What they tell us is that our atmosphere is like somehow attached to the Earth, so it's spinning at 1,000 miles. Those clouds you're looking at are spinning at 1,000 miles an hour right now with the Earth. Now the key is you have to believe this stuff because ain't nobody proving it. And here, if you want, I got a little piece of paperwork. It shows you different things. Listen, there's a great one on there. Eric Dubé is the main one to watch. It's called The History of the Flat Earth. I know it's funny, man, but you know who the only people I get to talk to mostly? Young people who have not been brainwashed already, man. So, you know, look into it, make up your own mind. And if I'm wrong, no problem. I have no problem with you coming up to
your opinion, bro.
Yeah, thanks, bro. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Made my day. Guys, you ready? A little brain twister for you. All right, ready? They tell us, you guys know how fast the Earth spins at the equator? 1,000 miles an hour, they tell us that we're spinning at the equator, okay? Now, if you were to hop into a plane, an average plane, commercial aircraft is traveling about 550 miles an hour. You get in that plane, you travel in the same direction of the spin at 1,000 miles an hour, you're going to 550 miles an hour. Are you making ground or are you losing ground?
I don't even know.
It's crazy, right?
It is crazy.
Right? So what happens? So I'll tell you what they tell us because you guys are awesome to listen to.
Are you breaking time?
No, what happens is what they tell us, you have to believe this shit, right? This is kind of the point. Those clouds above us right now, those clouds are moving at 1,000 miles an hour with the Earth's spin, okay? Because somehow like the Earth is in this magical cocoon. No one's ever proved this shit. We all just believed it because when did you guys learn that you lived on a globe? When did you learn it, right?
Yeah, it's third grade. I actually think about it all the time.
Yeah. Oh, do you really?
Yeah.
Have you looked into flat Earth?
I have a friend.
Take one.
I have a friend who's really into it.
Oh, you do?
I think about it.
Yeah, it's creepy as hell, man, and it's hard to live with, and you lose a lot of your friends if you do.
I think about it more of like a quantum wave-like reality rather than like a particle-like spherical.
As in something solid, and so
yeah, more of like a multi-dimensional wavelength that is full of like possibilities, but that we're being programmed by something else to like limit ourselves from like what we could experience in a way.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm not going to deny that one bit. Have you guys read Plato's Cave? Aristotle. That one's a good one because he talks about kind of what you're talking about. It's this little allegory, I think they call it, where these people are in a cave all their lives, and they have a fire that projects. They're almost like slaves, and they have a fire that projects shadows of books and bicycles, and so these people have only ever seen the shadows of the bike and the shadow of a book, but they think that that's the actual thing, the shadow, and he calls it forms in that. So kind of going with what you said, like maybe this reality that we're seeing is like actually just forms that are manifesting that we process as real and solid.
Like we are actually manifesting everything we see in some way, rather than, and you could like flip the script rather instead of being like produced by your environment, start producing your environment, like thinking, breaking down some limitations that could just be like, fuck it, let me just try it.
The only thing is that the fact is that if I climb up on a building and I jump out of the 100-story building, more than likely, I mean, my experience, what I expect to happen is, you know, I'm gonna splat. You know what I mean? So for me, like, I'm having this conversation with you guys, and I feel like it's real because you guys would say that you're having a conversation with me right back. So it kind of makes this, our reality is what it is. So if you guys were to go to the beach and you were going to look at the horizon there, you'd see that it's perfectly flat, and people have proven it. You'd see that people have, people videotape boats going over the horizon. Have you ever heard of when boats disappear over the horizon? Like, because, well, they're taking a video camera these days, and they videotape where that boat was last seen. They zoom in on it, and guess what they see again? There's the boat again. You shouldn't be able to do that on a ball, right? They have down there, over there, she has like a little proofs, and she has a photo of the Chicago skyline. We can see it across Lake Michigan, guys. 50 miles, all right? That should be impossible. There should be 1,700 feet of expected curvature over a distance of 50 miles. This is ball earth math, by the way, too. So how could that be? How could that possibly be visible, right? Well, the guy on television, live vision, TV programming, right? He says, "Oh, what you're seeing is a mirage." All right, maybe it's a mirage. Unfortunately, a guy took his video camera, got in a boat, videotaped that mirage. As he was going across, he kept his video camera on that mirage the whole way till the city's right in front of his eyes. So, was it a mirage, right? And if it's not a mirage, then where is that curve, man? See, people aren't finding it, and everybody knows, like, we use water, guys, to check level. That's how we find out if something's level. We use water with a little water bubble, right? So how the heck is it bending around?
I've never thought about that.
Right.
So that's the big one. That's the biggest one that My friend Lauren is all about. She's like deep into the.
Yeah, I didn't mean to go off preaching on you guys.
Oh no, you're good.
No, you're good, man.
It's a good thing. It's a good at least a good exercise.
Different perspectives.
You guys are so open-minded. Let me tell you, the reason I'm out here too is like I didn't really wake up to like all the lies. Like 9/11 kind of shook me. Like what's going on with loose change. I don't know if you guys watched that one, but like that one kind of woke me up. And then everyone told me to go back. Like everyone's like ignored me, and I went back to sleep, and I went back to work. And now I'm not working at all, and I kind of something woke me up at age 46 to wake up and to understand that, like, dude, in my mind, everything's a lie. The whole thing, we're slaves. There's no doubt we're slaves. They take half my freaking money when I work, right? That's the definition of freaking slavery when you're working 6 months out of the year for free.
I think that system's falling right now.
You say what?
I think there's a switch over going on right now, and I think that system's falling.
I agree, man.
We're here to start to create a new reality.
Yeah, and the young people who I see the most, like, I go to the beach, right, and I'll have like 20, 30 people listening. It doesn't mean half of them are laughing at me, but some of them are actually talking and having conversations like you guys are. Whereas here, we came here, and a lot more older adults, hopeless, like almost like brainwashed, and I was so dead asleep, man. When I looked into this stuff, I was just like, this is impossible. And it took me so long. I would like watch videos over and over again that I kind of knew the evidence was telling me, but I just couldn't accept the stuff, man. It's too crazy.
At the very least, it's great to like get out there and gain different perspectives of other people's like view of like this reality, like being able to chat about that and like share common ideas and kind of formulate like our own opinions.
Yeah, it is.
A new paradigm.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Like people like you are really open-minded, and all you guys. I learned things myself from people, and I looked them up. I luckily have my video camera too, because it makes it even easier.
What's so great about living today is any question we have, we can look it up.
Yeah.
And like, and you don't believe everything. You don't believe everything.
One guy telling you the fucking thing, and everyone's like, oh yeah, that's.
Yeah, that's the one thing I will say though, guys. Like, and this is another thing, pertaining to what you just said. Like, if you Google flat Earth, like all the listings that you see first are debunking flat Earth. Like what? Like their algorithm can't figure out that I'm not interested in debunking, and I want to find out about why, how the Earth could be flat. Same thing with YouTube, guys. You do it, and like they buried all like the good videos with some interesting things that challenge your beliefs. Bro, man, they're in control every day. It's terrible. They shut down people's channels. I mean,
take stuff off of Twitter. You see that all the time.
Yeah, I got shadow banned. I went from like 5,000 followers down to 2,000. I'm like, why is everybody like bailing on me? Like, this sucks. And then I finally realized somebody told me that you were shadow banned. I was like, I don't even know what that means.
But wouldn't all shadows be the same if the Earth was flat, kind of?
No, because what you end up actually doing is your sun, rather than being 93 million miles away, you're going to have a local sun. I mean, this is what, by the way, I have no idea. I really don't think they have.
I think the sun is way closer than it really is.
So if you have a close sun, what happens? Imagine if it was, it would then you would get the.
Our sun, it can't.
No, it can't. And but you guys, think about this with the sun. This is a good one for 93 million miles away, right? How is it that sunlight travels 93 million miles supposedly, right? And then that little difference of the tilt of where you live, which is like on a ball Earth, 25,000 miles in circumference, is like a few thousand miles difference between the equator and the North Pole. That's going to make all the difference in the world for that light being like from hot to cold. Not as, you know what I mean? So it's not as effective for and meanwhile it just traveled 93 million miles, and the last 3,000 miles are going to screw it all up? Ooh, I don't know, man. That seems flimsy to me. You're not agreeing, I guess?
So why is there a 3-hour time difference with Los Angeles to New York?
Why is there a 3-hour time difference?
As far as the sun being up and down. Like the sun's down in New York at 7 o'clock.
Well, that's just a man-made construct.
Also, as you go higher, you can see farther because the Earth is so you can see farther. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Well, yeah,
also with the horizons too.
Well, but I mean, then you have to explain how the horizon rises to your eye. Always. How does it do that on a ball? How does the horizon rise to your eye level?
It just doesn't.
On a ball, if you're raising up, the ball, goes further at the edges of that ball. You should be seeing.
I thought it's about like your height. If you go higher, you can just see farther down the horizon. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all about your elevation to the actual ocean itself. You know what I'm saying?
It's in relation to what?
Say you climb a building on the ocean, you'll be able able to see way farther down the horizon if you're up higher in elevation.
Okay, 100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you would do that on a flat surface also. It works, you know. In fact, it actually is. What?
Would it though?
I mean, I mean,
wouldn't it just be the same?
I'm not trying to convince any of you guys, by the way. Like, all I'm out here for is.
I'm just out here for a good conversation.
Yeah. So I just don't like getting too argumentative with people. Like, and I don't mean to be, but because sometimes I get caught up in this stuff too, where I'm like, I don't even know, man.
All you're saying is research.
Yeah.
You're not saying.
Yeah.
Listen, man. If you
that too.
If you go with what everyone else has to say and you don't question anything in life, then you're doing something wrong.
Have you guys looked into hoaxes?
You know what?
Hoaxes? All right. You know all the shootings that you hear about on TV?
Oh yeah.
I don't buy it.
You don't believe it. You think people are dying, right? Of course. Okay. So did I. So I watched one video, and it's by a guy named Plasma Burns, and this is after I believe. Right. And where he deconstructs that thing. Okay. So you've watched it. Good.
I've looked into it.
You know that video's gone now. It's gone. You can't watch it anymore. Try to look it up, man. It's gone. Now I'm on, you know. But anyhow, the point is in that video, the one that got the biggest thing that got me is Jeff Bauman, the guy who had his legs blown off in that attack, supposedly. Right. Dude, there's a photo. You could look it up. I actually have a I'm going to make a banner of it, too. Because in the photo, he's in a wheelchair, right? And both his legs were blown off within 2 minutes prior, supposedly, of this happening, right? Well, there's not even a single drop of blood that's dropping on the pavement where they just rolled him from or directly beneath him in that photo. There's not even a single drop of blood. So what I did is I made a video, right? And in the video, I show you a UFC fight. I don't know if you guys have ever watched the UFC, but if you've ever seen a guy take an elbow to the head, right? They bleed. They will squirt blood like feet. So I want to know, how can the guy have a cut on his forehead and be squirting blood multiple feet out, and this guy has 2 legs that are missing within just a minute or two of the photo, and I'm not even seeing a drop of blood dripping out of those legs. There's a woman named, do you know Lorraine? You probably saw her, Lorraine. She was the head of San Francisco orthopedic surgery, and she came out and she said, that photo is impossible. She's done thousands of surgeries, and she said, first of all, the guy wouldn't be conscious, and he's conscious in the photo. Second of all, you wouldn't put a guy in a wheelchair who's missing both his legs. You'd be putting him on a gurney, flat. You would like no EMT in their million years would do that. So that was hard for me, man. Like I believed the Earth was flat already. I could not accept, because that would mean I was like, the FBI. The FBI were there. The police were there. The EMTs were there. Everybody was there. The news was there. They're all lying to me. Like that blew my. And then when I accepted it, man, I lost my mind for like another 2 weeks. I mean, you guys might think I'm crazy, and I might be, but
we're all crazy.
But dude, when you cut yourself, man, when you see somebody cuts himself bad, there's so much blood, man. It's freaking scary how much blood there is. How did he not have his legs, and there's not a freaking drop of blood? Right? What? Yeah, but you still that doesn't change. I'm not trying to change your mind.
I've seen other aspects of it and stuff as well. I don't know. Not that one specifically, but like the Pulse nightclub. I looked into that a lot. Yeah. Said that was set up. I don't know.
I've come to think they all are now. I know I've lost. I even think 9/11. I don't think that many people died. Freaking. Is that crazy? It's like insane for me to get to that. Like, because my part was, have you ever heard of the no planes theory, where they show the nose go through the building? Okay, if you watch, there's one called September Clue, Simon Shack. Bro, I could never understand it because. Right, and what he was saying is that it was projected on TV. It was all show, right? Because when one of the planes hits the second tower, you see clearly the nose of the plane go through the building, come out the other side.
I know somebody who was. People definitely died.
I know 2 people who died, right? Supposedly, and I don't think I think they're like being fraudulent. I think I even found one of the guys living. I know, dude. I know. Believe me, I know this is like ridiculous. But he has the same name, Robert Hoffman, right? He's friends with the same guy who was the guy's partner. Like, dude,
I know somebody whose girlfriend died in it.
Okay, yeah, I don't want to upset you guys either. I apologize.
He was a firefighter. He was like pulling out bodies himself.
Yeah.
He's not like bullshit.
Yeah.
He's not like a part of like the government.
No, well, he is. He works for the government. He works for fire. He works for firefighters. But I know, but I don't want to like be contradicting anybody and get my ass punched in either. But
Don't want to hit these steps.
All right, guys. Hey, listen, man. Thank you so much. Thanks, brother.
Yeah, nice talking to you.
Thank you. Thanks. It was nice meeting you guys. All right, guys. I have a brain teaser for everybody. If Earth spins at 1,000 miles an hour at the equator, right? And you get in a plane, the average commercial airplane travels 550 miles an hour. You get in that plane, you travel the same direction of the 1,000 mile an hour spin, and you're going 550 miles an hour. Are you gaining ground or are you losing ground?
Losing ground.
Right. So how do they do that?
Because Earth's flat.
Well, I think it is. You know what they tell us? You know what the explanation is? Seriously? What they give us? They tell us that our atmosphere, those clouds above our heads, are traveling 1,000 miles an hour with the spin of the Earth. But nobody's ever proven that. You just got to believe it, guys. I have information if you want. You good? All right, man. Thanks for listening. All right, guys. Anybody here know how fast you're spinning right this moment? 1,000 miles an hour, they say we're spinning. Now, how do you do this? You ready? If you get into a plane going 500 miles an hour and you travel in the same direction of that 1,000 mile an hour spin, what happens? Okay, if you're spinning if the Earth is spinning 1,000 miles an hour and you're in a plane going 500 miles an hour in the same direction of that spin, are you gaining ground or losing ground? You're losing ground. You guys, I'll tell you the reason. What they do is they tell us that sky up there, those clouds, they're moving 1,000 miles an hour. They're spinning 1,000 miles an hour with the Earth. They're like somehow magically attached to the Earth. Guys, they lie to us in school. They brainwash us with a globe when you're young. I have a little paperwork here. Look into it. Check it out. You don't have to believe it. Maybe I'm wrong, right? I could be. Yeah, good for you. Have a good one.
What's all this about?
So, people have started investigating whether or not we actually live on a spinning ball that's, spinning through space. We're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour right now, okay, at the equator. We circle the sun at 66,000 miles, they say, while the sun travels through space at 500,000 miles an hour. That's a lot of motion going on and a lot of extreme.
And I don't feel anything. I mean, when I'm on a bus, I feel motion. I don't feel motion right now.
Right. Like when we circle the sun, we don't even circle it. It's an elliptical pattern. So we are literally speeding up and slowing down somewhat in that model that they told us. So there are a growing number of people who are questioning whether or not we actually live on a spinning ball. When do you
think the world is flat?
Here's some information for you, and I'll give you one too, because you don't have, don't believe a word I say, obviously, right?
I know when I got on the plane, you can see the curvature of the planet. I mean,
that one's iffy. There's commercial airline pilots.
My eyes were lying to me, I guess. Or?
Well, there's military pilots who say that you don't begin to see the curvature of the Earth until 60 to 100,000 feet.
Well, I saw it. I mean, maybe my eyes were lying.
It could be.
It could have been a hallucination.
Yeah, no, I'm not denying what you said, right?
Yeah,
but
when I saw the pictures from the space shuttle, it was like, it looked round to me.
I agree with, oh yeah, absolutely. Now check this out. Did you know that if you can go on NASA's website and you look at the photos of Earth from space, and you'll come to find out that they're labeled composite photos. They're like CGI where they put them together. They're not a singular photo, man. There's tons of videos.
What about the pictures that were taken from the moon of the planet Earth? I mean,
yeah.
Look, I mean, the reason I hated this, because obviously everything argument I'm going to make is going to shoot down with. I'm never going to convince you that the world is round.
Oh no! Well, listen.
It's like trying to convince a Trump supporter that Trump is a bad president. It's impossible.
Well, the thing is that I used to believe that I lived on a ball until a year and a half ago. So something, it's not an easy thing to want. Like, I don't want to become an outcast to society because like a freak because of my beliefs that I've come to find. But that's why I'm kind of standing out here, because I looked at it and I laughed at it at first. I laughed. You guys you're being a lot more mature than I was. It was funny. Here's a little paperwork on it if you want to look at it on your own. I do this, guys, real quick. This is one of the things that really got me. And she has a photo of it on her little display there. You can see the Chicago skyline from 50 miles across Lake Michigan. That skyline should be obscured by 1,700 feet of Earth curvature. It has to be there. It should be there.
Well, how come no one's ever fallen off the Earth before?
Well, we don't know if there is even an edge, right? But anyhow, regarding the Chicago skyline, what they do is they tell us that was a mirage. Now the problem is that a guy got in a boat. He rented a boat. got a video camera, and he videotaped that mirage as he traveled all the way across the lake until he was right in front of the city with his own 2 eyes, and he knew it. So, is it a mirage, right? Was it a mirage, really? And if it wasn't, then where is that curve, man? Yeah, man, check it out. You're awesome. Thank you for listening, guys. I appreciate it. Hey. I know you. You don't know me, but how you doing, bro?
Good,
CC,
good.
right?
CC, yep.
Yeah. Is that your name, or is that what you?
No, Chris Cadell.
Chris, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm
no, those are my initials. You know, when I first opened up my YouTube channel, I didn't know what it
I'm so glad you're out here, man.
Yeah, no, I came down.
Where's your video camera? You taking video or not?
Yeah, no, I got my camera right here. Definitely, I'll start making some videos. I want to show everybody this. Yeah, you know, I mean, this is the first one that I've seen in New York City, so this is fantastic.
Yeah, it's brutal, man. It has not been going well.
Yeah.
Like, I get better reception elsewhere, but whatever.
Got a troll up. Yeah.
Did you really? It's brutal, man.
They won't stop. They just won't.
But I also just had, like, I mean, literally a lot, like maybe 5 or 6 people who were listening and then went right over to Marilyn's little show.
Oh, good.
So that's awesome, man. It gives me the chills when that happens.
Right, this is nice.
Thanks.
This is great.
Thanks.
Did you make these, or did you get them?
Well, I just got them made online. There's a bunch of places that'll do it, and then you just, I got Photoshop for this stuff, so it makes it a little bit easier.
I really would like to put something like this in Westchester County together. Unfortunately, we're restricted on where we can go.
Oh, all you have to do is make sure that you don't attach it to anything.
Okay.
And because now this is like it's like you're
not technically a
you're just a person walking around. So I got a ticket on the boardwalk.
Did you really?
On Friday.
Okay.
You know what they got me for?
What?
They told me. Well, they didn't get me for anything. They told me it's illegal to videotape on the boardwalk while people were videotaping me.
Yeah, while they were videotaping.
Can you believe the idiocy of where we? And then the people. I had at least half the people were behind the cops, limiting their freedoms. Bro, man, where do we live, man?
No. Really, it's unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, it's just...
lie to and another one that's incomprehensible. Everything.
Everything.
I knew we were lied to, but I didn't know they were lied about.
Yeah. Everything.
You gotta tell people, the earth does not curve downwards. Anywhere.
There's no curvature at all. There's no proof of any curvature.
And NASA, like,
don't even get me started.
I know.
Forget it.
Exactly.
That's why I got that plate NASA lines. I wanted to drive my car down here.
I'll get fed up with it.
Okay, I'll press it out.
You sent me a picture of Lopez. There you go. You on Facebook?
Yeah, I got my CC.
Everybody knows Chris. Everybody knows you, huh?
I don't know if
because I'm new. That's why but it's kind of touching sometimes. But
I think God used me in some way.
It seems like we're not supposed to like get too into like magic stuff and terror. Right? Is that true or not? I don't know.
All right. Well, there's energy. All right. What you need to know is that there's a universal energy, and when you think of God, you think of universal energy. And then when you think of this material realm, you think of it's split. Adam and Eve. Adam is the universal mind of Aries.
They turned on me like
number one. Atun, odd. Even is when you split that and you get Eve from two. Evil, even, nighttime, and Taurus is that. Taurus is the material realm. Taurus is ruled by Venus and Moon.
But you want to know the truth.
Aries is ruled by Mars and Sun.
So a lot of people
Too masculine, too hot, feminine split. Automatically now is cold and wet.
I have to look into all this. Wow.
Your brain is Aries.
Yep.
Where you go? The bull. The cerebellum is the bull.
I've heard this a few times now.
Lamb of God. It's all the occult secrets are in the Bible. It's in the Quran. It's in the Kabbalah. It's in the Bhagavad Gita. I am a syncretist, so I put them all together. And I look at, I go with what doesn't lie. If I can go to anyone here, read their time of birth, their birth chart, see where they're at right now in their life and stuff like that. If I can read anyone right now that I don't know, if I can read their birth chart, their time of birth, what city they're born in, and read aspects of their psychology that I don't know, read aspects of their mom and father, how they...
I have a friend friend who used to, he's an Indian guy, and he used to read hands when we were young, and I used to love it because I used to like pick chicks with that.
Yeah.
Right?
Palm reader.
Like a jerk, right? But I never really like, he was good at it, but I always laughed at it because my mind was so close, you know?
Yeah.
But now I'm like, what a waste.
The reason that we can, if you know how the sine wave works, it's a sine wave. All energy's on a sine wave. The sine wave always starts in Aries, goes up to Cancer, comes down in Libra the fall, and goes to the very bottom of Capricorn. Hence your Tropic of Cancer, Capricorn. The very top, you look at any map, any globe, anything, flat Earth, whatever. You look at any model, and it's going to have Tropic of Capricorn, Tropic of Cancer. That's your 12 o'clock midnight, 12 o'clock midday, noon and midnight. Those are the sine wave parts of your chart. It's also your DNA. It's in everything.
YouTube channel at all?
What's up?
YouTube channel?
Yeah, I have a YouTube channel. Sure. Daniel Martin's, yeah. I've been on Devin Maggie's. Devin Maggie's my friend. He interviewed me a couple times. If you know Devin Maggie,
I think I do know who he. I know that name, I think, but I don't know why.
All right, yeah, Quasi-Luminous.
I know Quasi-Luminous. Yeah, I've been watching some.
Yeah, these are guys I've done interviews with and I communicated with.
Oh, that's why I know. Yes, I do know them. Yeah, were they doing blood
on Facebook maybe?
Were they doing blood over intent?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's who it is.
Yeah. I was actually one of the forerunners of blood over intent. I'm actually the one who got Quasi-Luminous to show his face.
Oh, no kidding.
I think it should be also intent over, your intent over your own blood, as opposed to blood over your own. That's a whole nother realm. That's my girlfriend.
Oh, okay, cool. Hey, how are you? No, you know why I don't like missing in people who are interested. Sometimes that's